emergence of modular refineries in Nigeria will be a better avenue for the production and distribution of petroleum in the country. Well, that's according to the chairman of Crude Oil Refineries Owners Association of Nigeria, Momo Oyarikwa, while speaking during the ongoing Nigeria International Energy Summit 2024. Oyarikwa highlighted several areas in which the introduction of more modular refineries will help the country. He said that the establishment of modular refineries will help to cut costs at different areas for both the country and the citizens. Speaking on its security benefits, the chairman said that with the use of modular refineries, crude oil did not need to be passed through the pipeline, as the crude will be immediately refined and sent into the market, which will drastically reduce oil theft in the country and reduce the amount of money spent on security for the pipeline.
Capacity. Our refineries are not working. And in 2017, we met partners who were actually our technical partners. And we began to discuss, and they said, okay, they can actually build modular refineries for people. And I said, no, can we partner together? Can we do something? Because I think that there is a need for this thing in Nigeria. Today, I'll probably say we are the only refinery in this country that have built our own refinery. We did not in any way give it to anybody to build with us. Yeah, we have technical partners, but we brought them in to work with us. They are still with us today. You know, we work together, we do everything. And we realize that it's just a simple technology. Refining is just a very simple technology. Based on our elementary chemistry. What's it? Just distillation. It's only the second aspect of it, maybe the deep cracking and all of that. That's the issue. When you now want to produce PMS and other products. But looking at it, it's just simple distillation. So it's not a big deal. It's nothing Nigeria cannot actually achieve. So when she asked me the question and say, what are we doing to sustain the industry? What are we doing to support downstream and all of that? I keep saying refining. We have 4 operating partners. We have the Arabia refinery, Watersmith, our own refinery Upper, and we have a 2 refinery. And total capacity as of today, I think, is about 27,000 barrels per day.
Well, we have Arise business anchor Boason Omofaye with us right now, joining us to discuss these stories. Thank you so much for joining us as usual. Happy Friday.
Thank God it's a Friday.
Thank God it's a Friday. Well, let's hop over to South Korea, where export growth has exceeded market forecasts in February. Could you tell us a little more about that?
Well, I think South Korea, each time, and most of the time, its export numbers do come out, and you begin to see a country that has been able to do very well for itself when it comes to domestic industrial manufacturing. And this is something that it used to be one of the Asian tigers. And when some of us were younger journalists in those days, my early days in the print media, and with Nigerian banks and a few of them, government agencies, brought some of these folks from South Korea and a few other Southeast Asia, they call them Asian tigers, and brought them to Nigeria to give us lectures, the success stories of the Asian tigers. This was 25 years ago and all of that. And it shows how a country that could be well governed in terms of governance and provide some sustainability. You're looking at the numbers now, you're looking at a trade surplus of $4.2 billion. Dollars, exports by 4.8%, imports down by 13%. Cheap exports alone is about 66% year on year. That's a whole lot. Cheap exports 27%, exports to the US about 9%, Chinese exports 4.8%. All the what you call the line items look really good in terms of the trade metrics. We want to see this happen in Nigeria. But again, when you look at the country that has been able to prove itself, industrial manufacturing, whether it is through the semiconductor for tech, as well for other durable goods such as and other items like phones, mobile phones, and things like that, like Samsung and others. And you have Korean companies in the aviation heavy-duty industry. They are in various sectors, as you would want to say. And that shows that you can't bypass industrial manufacturing being consistent and being able to support, to be part of the global trade. South Korea is a major part of the global value chain and has squeezed itself and positioned itself very well between China, which is the dragon on this side. Then you have the Western economies, Europe and US on the other hand. So between China, Japan, then you talk about South Korea, and this looks like the big boys of the Asian economy, South Pacific, as the case may be. And I always want to draw a lesson for us that some of these chips and whatever that is being made in South Korea being exported to us and the rest of the world. So the raw materials, the basic resource of these actually come from Africa, lithium, whatever you call it, other basic resources that are exported, cobalt and a few others that are taken out of Africa. And it's a lesson that, well, soon can we, Nigeria and Africa, do beneficiation of our basic resources, such that we can set up these facilities also in Africa and export the finished goods or semi-finished goods, not just in their raw form, but put some value on it, make it more competitive, make it more dollar-friendly speaking, and not just the resource that just go into foreign accounts and a few of them get frittered away, the few of those money comes back into and they're all gone into whatever sources that you can't really see the benefit. That does not industrialize Africa, does not improve our trade and water view, does not improve us in any way, does not create jobs, does not create any value on the continent. But we're going to do a whole lot more of this. And I think I'm a little bit enthused with the intra-Africa trade that the Afrexim Bank is supporting, actively promoting, as well as the AFDB and a few other institutions. As time goes by, this will help us to begin to see how Africans, we ourselves, can take ownership of these resources and turn them into tangible assets, tangible products that we too can begin to export amongst ourselves. I don't mind using a handheld phone made in Rwanda, for example, where the chip is made in Ghana, the battery is made in Zimbabwe, right, and the cover, whatever, was made in somewhere in Namibia or Nigeria, Namibia, whatever, and then coupled together somewhere in Tanzania. It is all what we want to see in Africa. Right. That's what we want to see. So these folks have gone light years ahead of us. So the learning curve is already there for us. How quickly can we begin to do this? Put our own boots on the ground. We have the basic resources with us. Therefore, the next level should be the technology that we need to copy, learn, come back home, and begin to do this consistently. While we deal with the nuances of energy, which by now, I mean, how many billions of years was it? Let there be light. By now,
for as long as I've been alive,
let there be light. So that was billions of years ago. By now, we shouldn't be asking ourselves, let there be light, because we can't do the things that South Korea is doing in terms of exports, industrial manufacturing, blah, 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 without dealing with let there be light. Right now I can hear the sound of the generator humming downstairs, running on imported diesel again, and imported spare parts and what have you. You just had to put that in, and just dampen our mood, didn't you? No. But it just tells us that it's a sweet story for South Korea, but how soon can we get there? Will $10 billion get us there? The Binance money.
Oh, well, yes. So let's move to the Binance.
I don't want us to forget. I was thinking about it.
The Nigerian government imposing a $10 billion fine on Binance over accusations of manipulating the value of the country's currency. What are your thoughts?
I love that. If you give me $10 billion, we can use $10 billion, by the way. But again, it's a whole lot bit more complicated. We need to work this very carefully. But let me say this right there and open. You can't set up a platform that hurts the economy and currency of another country. It's never done. No economy in the world, not the US, not Europe, not China, not Russia, will take a kindly look at you. You can't take my currency to the cleaners when you're not dealing through the process that is transparent and fair enough that has been laid down. So you can go, look, we've seen some of this before in which speculators use whatever platform to deal with countries when it comes to their currencies. And I think the Nigerian authorities will need to look at this very carefully. And we have some institutions that can help us achieve this. The NFIU is there, the Financial Intelligence Unit is there, the Securities and Exchange Commission is there, the Central Bank is there. There are a few other institutions that we have, the EFCC and others, who can walk through what had happened and how Nigerian currency got to be floated, quote unquote, in a manner of speaking, on Binance, for example, and billions of dollars of dollars were just use this platform to deal a blow to Nigeria's exchange rate in a manner of speaking. And you see, since the government took this action or begin to look at Binance and a few others, you can see there's a bit of a deceleration. The hot water seemed to be swimming a little bit further since then. You've seen the Naira down from 1,000. Some folks were saying we're going to cross 2,000. In fact, it was just like this, we're just to tip over to 2,000. So we're standing at 1,617. Now you're talking about 1,003, 1,004, and all of that. We're beginning to see a deceleration in this runaway thing. So at every point in time, you need to hedge and protect your currency. Look, you want to destroy a people, destroy the currency. Take them to Argentina, any other country. You just hit the currency and the country is on its knees. So everywhere in the world, every country protects its currency. So if you set up a platform somewhere, and you're allowed to operate within the country. Remember, the whole case against Binance and a few of these crypto platforms, exchanges, have been there since the last administration at the Central Bank of Nigeria. Remember, Godwin Emefiele was saying, no, you can't use Nigeria to do this X, Y, Z. A lot of folks says, well, whatever, that's history. But now we can see that you can actually use these platforms to hurt Nigeria and hurt the country really, really bad. So I want to say that I'm sure Godwin wasn't just crying wolf back then. There have to be proof, but this has to be well proven beyond the noise on the street, beyond emotions. How we arrive at $10 billion fine, I don't know.
No, I don't know.
I would like to know. I would like the Nigerian government, I want the Attorney General, the SEC, to inform the public a whole lot better so that those of us in the media can do a whole lot more rather than just having a press statement or government spokesman says it's $10 billion. How do you arrive at that? How was it worked out? I want to hear from the government institutions, the NFIU, the FCC, the SEC, if possible, do a joint task force statement that is tenable to investors, that is tenable to those who use the Binance crypto platform or any other, so that the facts and figures of this particular matter will be well laid out. And that's what I would have loved something like the FCCPC to do. They are very, very good as an agency to lay everything, all the cards on the table. And I'm sure the SEC and the Central Bank and the NFIU can lead to this particular process. While other organizations like the DSS and others can take the back seat, or can go behind the curtain, while you allow financial institutions or financial regulatory agencies take the front lead of it. But it's not just to have $10 billion. How is it arrived at? How will it be that money be taken from Binance? How do we get retribution? Or also, how do we get not retribution? Sorry. How do we get recompense? Okay, from Binance and whatever. If we get the $10 billion, where does it go? A lot of other things. So we need to set it out so that we don't set a precedent that we're just going to the market and shooting at everyone. But we're trying to do something legally that the country as a sovereign has to do in protecting its currency and its financial markets from anyone who's misbehaving, either from outside and from within, or in collaboration with one another.
Well, very well said. As usual, great to have you in here to unpack
it's a Friday.
A lot of these. It is a Friday, so we will say thank you very much for coming into the studio.
See you back on Monday. Oh, welcome to March.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
It's the first of the month.